Welcome, everybody, to our final Animal Reiki Talk for 2025. I'm Kathleen Prasad, your host, and I'm really excited to be here with all of you tonight. And tonight I'm going to be talking about the power of reflecting in our Animal Reiki journey. I have a lot I want to say on this topic. And then, of course, we're going to finish with our Animal Healing Circle, which we do every month together. And I love that cumulative, strong energy that our group can create. So thank you for being here. And but before I start in on my talk tonight, I wanted to share with you some exciting things that are coming in 2026. Actually, before 2026, one more thing I want to remind you guys about is we are having a holiday homecoming gathering for the Let Animals Lead community. Old students, I'd love to see you. New students, I'd love to see you. Prospective students, please come. Everybody, if you're interested in the Let Animals Lead method, this is going to be a fun celebration and gathering this Saturday, December 6th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Email me if you're interested. I will send you the link to sign up for that. Very excited to get together with everybody this coming Saturday. Coming next year in December, something brand new, something that's hopefully going to make level 1 the gateway class into our ecosystem and our soul community. It's going to make it more accessible for many of you. I am launching a self-paced version of the level 1 online class. So it's a way for you to get that certification that you've been wanting without having to wait for one of the seasonal live courses. And if you work or your work hours are difficult or whatever, you don't have to worry about that part of it either. There's going to be some other office hours and things that are available to you at your convenience. So stay tuned. I should be launching that in the January newsletter. And I hope to see a lot more of you signing up and becoming certified in the Let Animals Lead method. So excited about that. So tonight, in our December final month of the year, I think it's time for us to reflect. You know, this time of year, the days get shorter, the weather gets chillier, and it kind of encourages us to go inward a bit. And that's something that reflection can also do for us. And I want to talk about why reflection matters in our Animal Reiki practice. I think if we can think of it as a bridge, this can be helpful. So we have our inner world, and then we have our Animal Reiki practice. And reflection is the bridge between those two things. It helps us to observe our ways of thoughts and our emotions and how these things might be shaping how animals are responding to us because they're so sensitive to us. We can also develop our awareness, and this helps us to bring more authenticity and integrity into our own life, which creates a stronger foundation for this Let Animals Lead approach, because animals, again, are responding to the type of energy, the resonance of energy. Another way you could think of it is the vibration that we bring into a session. And so developing these qualities like peace and the present moment and calm, right? Acceptance, positivity, these qualities, it helps create a vibration that is very safe for animals that they want to connect to. Reflection also keeps our Reiki eyes clear, your Reiki eyes, right? I like to think of that as, what if we could see with our hearts? That would be if we were seeing with our Reiki eyes. That means that we're seeing beyond illness, beyond an animal's struggle, and we're focusing on that radiant light that exists within them. We're seeing that light. We're just going deeper and seeing it. And, you know, thinking about, oh, I want to show up in this really positive, open way with the animals, and I want to like see with my Reiki eye, and then we get there and the animal is struggling, or we're in a shelter environment that's difficult, or whatever. A lot of things can happen. And then all of a sudden, reflection doesn't seem so fun. You know, there are many common obstacles that keep us from making space for self reflection in our practice. Some things like, oh, I don't have time. Reflection is such a luxury, but guess what? It doesn't have to take long. You can just jot down a few notes after a meditation, after an animal Reiki session. And the more that you can just pause for these small moments, the more it becomes a natural part of your rhythm with your animal Reiki practice. And then you don't even have to build time for it. It's just there naturally. Secondly, we can often feel emotional discomfort. When you sit quietly, you start to notice things like your crazy thoughts and feelings that are going on inside. We're not avoiding them anymore. They're coming to the surface. But that's okay, because when it comes to the surface, that's our opportunity to let go what no longer serves us, right? And so we're kind of clearing our energy field by letting this discomfort, leaning into that discomfort and letting it go. Because even if we hold it down inside, we bury it, animals sense that. And it doesn't feel good to them. It's like, why is that person acting happy? Because I can tell they're sad, right? Feels very weird to them. So we're really looking for an energy that is clear and in alignment. That's what brings that peace for animals to connect with us. Some of us don't do our reflections because we're afraid we're going to do it wrong. But I want everyone to know that reflection isn't about a certain way of doing it. It's about how you show up for yourself. And if self judgment appears, thank it for showing you where growth is possible, and then let it go. Also, sometimes we feel alone. So, to me, reflection is best done in community. And that's why I love my online Let Animals Lead community, because we're reflecting all the time, all year long. That's like our main thing. Every month, we have a reflections journal to go deeper with the teachings. I post several times a week in there to help everybody reflect, right? And what's really cool about that is we read other people's reflections, and it may resonate, or it might remind us of something. Oh, yeah, I felt that too, but a little different. And so we can learn so much from seeing how we're seeing insights and experiences. I think that's really beautiful. Also, we're practicing that compassion by holding space for other people to learn and to grow, right? No judgment. Just, what was your thought about that? What was your experience? What was your insight? What is your struggle right now? Let's do this together. So that community space is a wonderful support to self-reflection. So as we close this year, I wanted to think about all of the talks that I've done all year long here in Animal Reiki Talk. And I wanted to share just a little bit, a little quote here and there from my community, because I chose some really special moments that people in my community shared about each of our themes. And I'm not going to share them all with you tonight. I'm going to share a few, and go to my blog on animalreikisource.com and read the full article if you want to hear even more. Just going to choose a few. So in March, if you remember, we talked about releasing worry. And there was a beautiful experience one of our community members shared. And she said, when I stopped worrying about whether my cat would relax when she was doing Animal Reiki, I realized she already was. The moment I softened, she sighed and curled up beside me. Here's one from June. June, our focus was finding our voice, right? And this student from the community shared. After meditating with the sanctuary horses, I realized they were teaching me what honest communication feels like. My voice didn't need to be forceful, it needed to come from love. Isn't that beautiful? In August, I love this month. Our theme was spiritual surrender, right? Letting go with grace. And I love this beautiful quote from a member of our community. When I stopped trying to make the meditation go a certain way, everything softened. The dog I was with lifted his head and looked right into my eyes. It felt like he was saying, "Now you're here." Beautiful. In November last month, our theme was inviting joy and really seeing joy coming forth through gratitude. And this was a beautiful quote from one of our community about this animal Reiki practice. During meditation with my dog, I suddenly felt lightness, like laughter in my heart. It wasn't because anything special happened. It was just the joy of being together. Beautiful. Those moments make it all worth it, right? Every reflection that each of you has had this year reveals that when we grow in Animal Reiki, it's subtle, but the little insights build one upon the other, right? And it becomes healing. That the reflection process itself becomes its own form of healing. So sometimes we might need a little bit of structure to help us know, well, gosh, how can I reflect on my Animal Reiki stuff? So one way is to take some notes after sessions. So in other words, after you meditate with an animal, take a few minutes, write down what you observed about the animal, about yourself, and about the shared space. For example, what emotions came up for you or for the animal, what felt challenging, what felt beautiful, did you sense any shifts, all of those things, or whatever else that comes up for you. But when we write, this anchors those insights into your memory, and then you have a deepened awareness for the next time that you're meditating with the animals. Another thing you can do is case study reflections. And that's where you think of each session you do as a case study and you write things like, okay, what were my impressions before I started the session, during the session, and after the session? What did I learn about myself from this session? What did I learn about the animal with this session? What did I learn from the animal in this session? Were there moments of change? The energy changed, or the animal's behavior changed, or I changed. And over time, when you create these kind of observations through case studies, you start to see patterns. You start to see growth. In the areas that were hard, get easier. Maybe the areas where you feel really comfortable, deepen. You can see that from reading your notes over time. Another thing to try is kind of fun. I call it an animal diary. And in this, you just imagine how the animal might have described the experience of meditating with you. And so you do a little writing after the session from the perspective of the animal. Well, this person came in and was a little bit unsure because, animals know exactly how we're feeling all the time. So you can kind of write that into it. But then she really got into her groove and wow, the energy really smoothed out and we bonded and it was great. And I fell asleep and I felt so content, however you do it. But it really helps us build empathy and listening, which of course are qualities that are at the heart of Let Animals Lead. And another way is answering some questions. And I've chosen, a few of my favorites to think about when I do sessions. One is, what helped me return to center today? Because I promise you, even if you start out there, you might veer away from it. Or maybe you don't start at center, but you get there. But our practice helps us return to center. So really thinking about that helps you build your techniques and your tips for yourself. Also, you can ask yourself, did I create an affirmation that supported peace or gratitude? I love using affirmations, and you may find yourself just one coming to your mind. It could be a word, a phrase, a whole sentence that just makes you feel that positive energy in that moment with the animal. Or how did the animals respond to my energy? You know, really being aware, having an awareness of how they're mirroring what's going on with you. What did animals teach me about presence today? That's another great one, because we tend to live in our minds and then we go somewhere else and we're not here right now. So even a single sentence or two that you write after your meditation, it can be a spark of learning, of healing, of deepening that can come alive later. So I really encourage you guys to find a practice, something that is not overwhelming, something that's easily implemented, but something that you can make a habit of. And trust me, when you go back and read that journal, it will blow your mind to see all of the lessons the animals have taught you and all of the growth that you've experienced because of this simple practice with animals. So each time we pause to reflect, we're strengthening the bridge between our spiritual insight and our daily life with animals. We can start to see the world through different eyes. It's a challenge? No, it's a lesson. I'm just sitting with my animal? No, I have this moment of incredible potential right now, And reflecting also helps us deepen our humility, reminds us that animals are leading us, guiding us, our teachers, our bright lights in this spiritual journey. And, that's a beautiful energy to bring forth when you're with them, and they feel it. They feel it when you see them with those eyes. So before I finish, looking ahead, for those of you who are alumni of the Let Animals Lead method, you're at least level 1. I'm super excited to announce our premium circle is going to be called the Living Circle in 2026. And I've already designed the arc of a year-long course that's going to help us completely just open up and deepen, heighten, raise, transform, whatever word you want to use. But our relationship with animals, we're going to use the energy of the seasons to help us deepen this healing journey with animals. We're going to use the energy of 12 very special spirit animals, one for each month, to go much more deeply. And we're going to keep making a habit of these reflections through writing and sharing them in our community. So I'm very excited for this healing circle. Stay tuned. I will be announcing more details about it in the January newsletter. But in the meantime, I hope to see all of you this Saturday for our holiday homecoming celebration. And stay tuned for those of you on my newsletter mailing list. On Christmas, I have a special gift to share with you guys, in an ebook that I've been working on. So stay tuned for that book coming out on Christmas. And then all of our wonderful programs. I guess the last thing I'll mention before we go into our healing circle. Did you guys read your newsletter I sent out yesterday? Because we have Claudia Barbieri, who is the author of the first ever scientific study showing how distant Reiki works for dogs. And it is incredible to have scientific evidence proving something we always knew because we were doing Reiki this whole time. But I'm so honored that she's going to be coming to speak to our community. And so if you are interested, if you're in Mighty Networks, you'll find the event in there. It's coming up, I believe, the 17th. She's going to be speaking to us. If you're not in Mighty Networks, email me and I'll give you the link so you can sign up if you'd like to join us. I can't wait to ask her all kinds of questions like, what inspired you to create this study and what was difficult about it and what were the most striking, results of success from this study, which is so exciting and super exciting. She's on to another study already, another distant Reiki study already. And she's going to share with us what she's working on now. So excited. So I hope to see you guys for that as well. So we've got so many things to look forward to as we end this year and as we step into 2026. Yay. All right. So it is time for us to have our healing circle. So let's go into Gasho. Let's take a moment to set our intention. Let's dedicate all the energy of this practice to our animals. And I want you to think about the animals in your life that are on your mind and heart tonight and just offer them the energy from this space. Invite them to step in and share with us. Just feel your connection to them. And also, we have a group shared meditation. Let's dedicate this practice for all endangered animals. May diversity and safety of animal species be prioritized and protected on this planet. And let's add this affirmation to deepen our meditation tonight. I invite animals to be my teachers, and I listen with my heart. All right, and then you can rest your hands on your lap and let's do some Hara breathing. So I want you to visualize your breath as a pure and clear light. And as you breathe in, it comes in through the crown, filling your body with light, moving all the way down to the Hara and your lower belly. Then as you exhale, you can imagine this light expanding out your skin and out into the universe. So breathing in the light, filling your body, connecting with your lower belly, and breathing out, expanding. Breathing in, connecting, and breathing out, expanding. And breathing in and breathing out. Just take a few more of those breaths at your own pace. And then relax your breath and just see yourself sitting in this beautiful space of light, the light within and the light all around you. And this light is filled with peacefulness and balance. And you feel grounded and centered. And this is a beautiful energy to offer to the animals in our circle tonight. And we're not offering this alone. We are all holding space together. We're all connected. And so just imagine what that looks like in your mind's eye. You're sitting wherever you are in your world, this bright light that's shining out. And I'm sitting in Northern California, my light shining out. And somebody else might be in Canada or in England or in Australia. And see how these lights, they connect, they magnify, and they create healing all over the whole world, all of us together. So powerful. Just feel that powerful intention for the healing, the love, the light, the compassion for animals. All of us united to hold this space together. And just take a moment and just shine that light. Feel part of that global community. And imagine the animals stepping in one by one, choosing to share and uplift this beautiful space. And let's do a few more Hara breaths, breathing in that light, filling your body, connecting to the Hara, breathing out, expanding that light. And then bringing your hands back into Gasho and just take a moment to thank the animals. Whoever chose to step in, however they chose to step in this moment was just perfect. And I want you to take a moment and feel gratitude for that global circle of animal Reiki practitioners, all of us together holding space, that united purpose of love and light for animals. What a gift, what a blessing. And then setting our intention to finish, take a nice deep breath and slowly come back and open your eyes. And before we finish today, I thought I would open it up. If anybody has any questions about what I talked about tonight, or comments or insights, or if any of you have anything from your year that you're thinking about, something you're grateful for that happened for you this year, some growth that you've had in your animal Reiki practice, what are you reflecting on before we finish tonight? If anyone would like to share, open it up and you can just unmute yourself and share if you like, or you can type into the chat as well. I see in the chat, Kathy asked, can we read the study, the scientific study before the meeting? Is it available? Yes, just message me in Mighty Networks and I'll attach it for you. I put it up somewhere, but I don't remember where now. So I'll find it and I'll send it to you. It's a great study. Anyone else? Anything from your year that you want to reflect on tonight?
I'll just briefly, Kathleen, it's Kathy.
Hi, thanks, Kathy.
I just wanted to say that the more I do this practice, the more it becomes so comfortable and so part of my day, like brushing my teeth or, taking the dog out or whatever it is to do is just so part of my day. And the more I do it, the more comfortable I am. And I think the more you hit upon it when you were talking about reflection, and I don't think unless we observe we can't reflect, and just observing with just an open heart and an open mind and just being present, without those things, we can't reflect on anything because we miss it. And just having a daily meditation helps me do that more. I think I've settled into it a little easier as the years gone by. I still have work to do with it for sure, but just I can see that in myself, a little bit of growth um, in settling into the practice.
That's wonderful. I love hearing that. And, it's a lifelong practice and it's always teaching us something. The animals are always meeting us where we are and then pushing us to go further in our spiritual journey. So we never finish. And that, I've been teaching for, let's see, about 25 years now. Been doing Reiki for almost 28 years. I've never been bored, not once. This is the most just miraculous experience. I just had a wonderful experience I'll share with you. I've been doing this for so long, like, right? It never gets old. I was doing a Reiki session for a horse a couple of days ago, or maybe it was just yesterday, actually. And I'd never done Reiki with this horse, and I wasn't really sure what to expect. And his person was going to stand and observe. So I just explained a little briefly, what I was doing and some things that she might typically see, signs of connection, signs of relaxation. And I told her coming and going, because he's free to move and move away or come closer. That's completely normal. And then I just started the meditation and I said, okay, I'm going to tune in. I'm going to start the meditation. And I just put my hands over my heart and he walked all the way over to me and touched his nose on my heart. That's how we began. I hadn't even started yet, And then I worked on my meditation and it took me a bit because it was really cold out. It took me a bit to get focused and let go of how cold I was and let go of like, oh, it's her first time. Is she going to get bored of standing there? Because it's not always that interesting to watch for some people. And so I had some worries and things I had to let go, just trust Reiki, go back to the breath, And when I was going through my stuff inside, he was going through his. He was sniffing things, he was walking around. He came over and tried to get carrots from her, and then he walked away. Then he came over to me and he started touching. I had my hands down at my sides, but with my palms open. He started coming to me and touching the left hand and the right hand. Then he'd walk around a bit, sniff her pocket again. Or did you happen to have a carrot? Oh, still don't have a carrot. Okay. Touch one palm, then the other. And he just kept kind of doing that until I felt myself settle finally into the meditation. I could just feel it from my energy feels kind of bumpy. And then all of a sudden it gets smooth. That's how it feels to me. And that's how I know that I'm like, okay, I'm entering this phase. It smooths out. And at that moment, he very intentionally walked away from me about 10 feet away, turned around so that he was directly facing me, but a little bit to the side so he could see me, and staring right at me, and stood there and planted himself there for the rest of the 35 more minutes or so. So it was about a 45-minute treatment or so in all. And during those 35 minutes, he did not move one step. His head lowered, lower and lower. His eyes closed now and again. His lip started really hanging. And then every once in a while, he would sort of come back and he'd just look at me with this deep knowing, this beautiful wisdom. Like, I see you and I see that you see me. And we're in this zone together. We see each other. It's like this soul connection. It was beautiful. And then when he was done, his head came up, he looked around and he walked off. It was so clear. So I turned to my friend and said, oh, well, see, he just said that he was done. And she's like, oh, yeah. But she said, oh my God, that is the most incredible thing. She said, I could see your connection as if you were touching each other, but you weren't. You were 10 feet away. I've never seen anything like that. She was totally excited about seeing something, energy, which is always there, right? But it's so subtle. And this experience allowed her to see energy for the first time. And so that session, which I've done thousands of hours at this point with horses, but that session was so exciting to me. Not only because the way that the horse just showed reflected my inner state and then locked into each other, and how I felt his heart and that beautiful soul connection, but also to see her face and listen to her describe what it was like to experience energy like that with awareness for the first time in her life. So I'm telling you guys, this practice never gets old. It's so exciting. And, the longer we do it, the more amazing experiences the animals will bring to us. And so I guess that's my little message of encouragement to all of you to just keep practicing, keep going, because it's still amazing, even after almost 30 years for me. Still amazing every single time. Oh, we have a few more texts. Thank you. Shayna says, I'm grateful for taking the Reiki 3 teacher training this fall and deepening my practice. Yay, Shayna. And one of the other guests said, I'm grateful for this whole network and being able to participate. I'm grateful for the animals in my habitat. I was happy to be able to share Reiki with animals as I was driving past them on vacation this past summer. Oh, I love doing that too. Awesome. And Kathy said, thank you for sharing each session is always practiced with new eyes. It's a holy space. Yes, that's a beautiful way to describe it. Thank you, Kathy. All right. Well, I hope to see you all this Saturday, 10 a.m. You can email me if you don't have the link, info@animalreikisource.com. You can email me if you don't have the link. Also, if you want to come to the vet talk that we're having on the scientific study on the 17th, email me, info@animalreikisource.com. I'll send you the link to sign up for that as well and join us. Lots of other amazing things coming. I wish you all a beautiful December of introspection and reflection. Blessings, everybody. Take care. I'll see you guys next year for a brand new year. See you guys in January. Bye.